Well, hello.
Hey, good evening.
The hold on, answering the text. Sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to get everything pulled up in the back. How's everybody doing this evening? Oh,
Hold
we
on.
got a
I'm,
few people in here already.
I'm gonna have to bring my mic closer so I can be like, "How y'all doing this evening?" Hold on, now my alarm's going off on my truck. Hold on.
I know. I just went in the kitchen a minute ago and looked out the window, and the little hatch on the back of my vehicle was open. Undoubtedly, I hit the button in my pocket somehow and didn't realize it. Like we got quite a few tonight, just starting off. Hope everybody doing good. It's kind of a last minute thing. Me and Bob Jeff jumped in the studio. We was running a little late ourselves.
Yeah,
Bob's still running late.
yeah, man.
I was telling him, I think me and you had just got in the studio. We were running a little late ourselves.
Yeah, I was taking my ceremonial take a nap and getting ready to take a shower, and I got the message to come pick George up, and I went and picked George up, and then I went live when I put George in there, and George decided he wanted to make a booty call. He ain't even been in there 3 minutes with her. I was standing there to make sure they weren't going to fight or something, with the hose, so I could like spray them or something.
Yeah, get them separated.
And he just took over the place, and he ain't but like this big, man. I mean, he's tiny. He's not even a good Christmas ham. I mean,
little butterball, huh?
Yes, sir. And he just, after a few minutes, she just laid down, and he just got up on the back of her. It was. He was twerking on her. But it was
learning early.
Yeah, well, he's only 6 months old, but he's been clipped, so he can't make more piglets. But no. It's if anything,
you don't want about a dozen running around there.
Well, they would end up being pork chops after that point. Then it'd be production pigs. But yeah, I mean, I got 3 bags of feed with them. I don't know why somebody would have 3 bags of feed for that little pig there, but okay.
Hey, he's a big one now.
Yeah, he couldn't eat. If she even lets him eat, because I put some food out for him, and I came back out when I took the dogs out, and she was laying with her head in the bowl to keep him away from it. So I just threw him his own little pile next to it, and everything went good. Yeah. But
you never know. Sometimes they can be a little territorial, like the new animal coming in.
Well, for like 5 minutes, I set his cage right up on the fence, and they were like nose to nose, and her tail was wagging and everything, and his tail was wagging. I was like, okay, they might be all right. Then I set his cage inside the pen, and she came up and sniffed all around him and wasn't trying to bang the cage or nothing. So I opened it up, and next thing you know, he's on the backside of her. So it's just, okay, don't let me stop you. Nobody's here watching all of YouTube. So quick update. The 2,000 subscriber giveaway is 20 subscribers away. I'm at 1980 currently, what it says on YouTube. So you guys know what that means. You know what that means. We're at 20 before I concoct some crazy way to enter to win a solar wax melter. But
caught me off guard. I was trying to get it pulled up.
Yeah, and it's a blue pitcher, but I think it's just random whatever color they have in the box. I don't know, because mine wasn't blue. Mine was white. So, but it works pretty good. Can't complain. I've been adding pieces of wax to it all the time, and I'll just leave it there and come back next time, clean out what's left, and put some more in it. And usually, if the weather's okay, within 7 days, they usually fly out and come back. But they don't stay out of the colony that I'm aware of.
It can generally about, I'd say, a week and a half, because once they hatch, I mean, if you're putting a virgin in, yes, she could fly out pretty soon. But if she just hatched, usually it'll take a couple of days for her wings and everything to dry and stiffen up, fly out, get mated. And once she comes back, usually a couple of days after that, you'll start seeing a few eggs.
And you heard about my queen debacle, right?
Oh yeah, the two queens.
It ended up, well, yeah. So there was two queens, and I caged them. Right, I saw somebody's comment. I had them in clips, and someone said, "No, cage them." Okay, so I went ahead and went back out, shook the extra bees off. I put them in a cage with some fondant, but I got the little battery box, so I just stood them up, one on each end, over the brood that I put in there, and they got covered up. And then I came back the next day, and they were still fine. Well, the next day, I was like, okay, which would have been yesterday, I think. I went out to make a nuke. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go ahead and make a nuke and put that extra queen in the nuke, right? Make a nice 3-frame brood, 2-frame food nuke up, put them in there. Well, I went back to, after I made that nuke up, I went in to get that second queen. There was no bees on the cage. So she was dead in the cage. So after that point, I went ahead and I looked back over at the colony, and there's a little cluster hanging up underneath the landing board on that nuke. So I reach my hand under there, pull it out. There's a yellow mark queen in there. So the only thing I could figure is that she came from one of the yellow mark queens that I marked in my 2-frame maiden yard and flew over there and landed right there. I don't know why. I mean, because if it was one colony together, I didn't have marked queens in any of my other boxes, only in the maiden yard. So
that's why I'm hoping next year I'm going to go to putting the marks on the, well, not really marks, but the little numbers on the head of any of the ones that I do. That way I'll know where they come from if they were mine.
I thought you had to put a little spot of glue on their back and stick that thing to them.
It comes with some type of glue, but everything that I've read said just use the tight bond wood glue. Take a toothpick and put one little drop on the end of the toothpick, rub it on the head, and then drop your number on.
All right. Well, I want to see you fail at that before I try to fail at it.
That's the only way I'm going to learn. Do it. This year's just been messed up for me, though. I mean, between the turnarounds that I had earlier this year, I ain't gonna say I lost a lot of hives, but I had a lot of them swarm. Then all the rain that we've been getting, I've never got back out there to pull my honey. So I just said, I'm gonna forget it for the summer. I'm gonna wait till fall. If goldenrod hits good, I'll pull a little honey off, leave some honey for them, and then probably put some sugar water on too.
I saw a bunch of blooms the other day down the street by this gas station. There's a field, and let me see if I can pull up what I found. It's called hogswort, not hogswort like the Academy on Harry Potter, but hogswort, W-O-R-T. And supposedly it's pollinator attractant. From what I could find on Google. Let me see. Does this thing have a history on it?
Hey, LaGrange, you know what I'm talking about there. He said he wouldn't put anything on the queen's head.
Right. A crown. I thought this thing had a history on it. Let me see. Gallery. There we go. Maybe it's in my gallery. There it is. Flower. Hogwort. But it doesn't, like Croton capitis something, I don't know, scientific name.
Now, that sounds like you trying to make a spell from hogwarts.
I know. It's, let me see. It says known as the hogwort or woolly croton or goatweed. Goatweed. Do you have goatweed?
Not that I know of, but I don't know all the weeds out here.
Says it grows in dry, open areas, especially sandy and rocky soils, and is distributed across the southern United States and elsewhere. And supposedly it puts off some nectar. If this thing would actually, oh, it's not going to play the game with me here.
Phil said you reading Harry Potter there.
Yes. Lindheimer's hogwort, Doveweed. I guess it's got more names. Let's see. Yeah, hogweed, woolly croton, Lindheimer's hogwort, dovewheat, hogwort. That's all different names for it. So, uses is poisonous to mammals, but I guess not to honeybees or to pollinators. But we got a bunch of it around here that I saw up the street. So that's pretty cool. But what do you got? So you're going to let your honey stay on?
I probably don't have much of a choice right now because it's been on so long. They done probably went through some of it. So I mean, if I would have cracked the boxes open now, some's going to be probably half full. It probably wouldn't be worth my time pulling anything.
Yeah, you might be better at this point if you don't have that much, just to like use that as resources if you need to give it to a hive that don't have that much and just kind of split it.
I figure I'll just let them use that, kind of start building back up for the fall flow, and then I'll pull some goldenrod honey off of them.
Hopefully, we have goldenrod.
Yeah, I hear that. Hell, we need to get rid of some of the rain we've had down here.
Well, it keeps saying we're gonna have rain, and we'll have a light overnight rain, and then by the next morning, it's been gone. And hey, Craig, I'm missing everybody. Hey, Morgan, Hale, Sharon, Dan, Lisa, Houston, everybody. If I didn't see you. Kylie, hey, niece Kylie. he said he told me he ordered it for you.
I'm still saving money for that.
hey, Tim. So yeah, so I mean that's kind of how my week started out, man. It's just kind of been crazy. Everything, and it seems like it's been like that all season long for me. I go to do something and I can't do it because I got to deal with something else, Go to make a split because I got 2 queens already captured sitting there. Oh, wait a minute, one of them's dead. Oh, but wait a minute, there's another one just hanging underneath the bottom board. So
the one weekend that we wasn't going to have the rain here, I had to go out of state for that weekend.
Speaking of going places, are you going to go to see Bob Binney?
Yep. I've already got my tickets and a hotel room reserved.
Oh, I saw something today.
That's going to be on, I don't know if anybody else is in the area interested, but that's going to be in Alexandria, Louisiana, August the 26th and 27th for the Louisiana State Beekeepers annual meeting.
Let me see here. We got so check this out. I got to drop a link. It's and it's a long link, but Clemson University Agriculture Extension here is having a hybrid beekeeping course. I think it's like $50 to go to, if that's your thing, and you do like the Zoom meeting beekeeping stuff, and then I guess they have a day that you can go, and it's in September. So if you're in South Carolina and this is something you want to do, or North Carolina, I guess you could come from North Carolina. It's only an hour away. If you're in Charlotte, hour and a half or something like that, but they're having a beekeeping thing here too. So let me see. Where are you, Fred, Lee, and I going? So you're not sure if you're going to go, or?
Yeah, I'm going. I already got my ticket. Registered for my tickets and got my hotel room reserved.
To the Louisiana Beekeepers Association. How far is it from you?
I'd say about 2.5 hours.
It's a day trip, leave at breakfast, get there by lunch type of deal.
I figured, well, it starts at 9:00 Friday morning. Registration or like admissions or whatever, when you get there, it starts at 8:00 to 9:00, and then the reception starts for the conference. So I'm going to leave here about 5:00 in the morning. Get there at 7:30, 8ish.
Lisa says September 16th and 17th, they're having the Alabama Beekeepers Association meeting where Bob Binney, Randall Carter, Randy McCaffrey, and more will be there. Let me see. Just trying to catch up with some of the chat over here. Yeah, I mean, if you got money, $75, $50, that's not bad money. But when you're broke,
yeah, I missed the pre-registration date for our annual meeting. It's $75 if you pre-register. If you wait till after that, it's $100.
It's they charge you more.
Yeah,
because you didn't see it on the internet quick enough.
Well, I just got the email the other day, and pre-registration ended August the 1st. Well, I didn't get the email and probably till, I don't know, 8th, 9th, somewhere around there.
That's usually how I get stuff, like right at the last minute or just after. Oh, $75 includes 2 lunches and a dinner. Okay.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all. So
I'm sorry, I got that email on the 12th. It says
you got it on the 12th.
Yeah.
You're a member of the association?
Yeah.
Well, you should have got that right away then.
That's when I got the email. Well, they've been redoing their website this year. They swapped over to a new system, so now you can log in and see all your registrations, where you go and what you've pre-registered for, different events.
Right. And bye, Uncle Lee and Bob.
Back at it.
School started here today, so imagine.
I think they started down there where they're at last Monday, I believe. They're about an hour and a half south of me.
Houston said exactly how I am. If it was free, I couldn't buy the gas to get there.
Well, what was bad, Alexandria is not really a very big town. I mean, it's kind of an older town.
Right.
But it ain't a whole lot there. For the hotel, they want $189 a night for the hotel room at this place.
Really?
Well, if you tell them that you're going to the convention itself, you get the rate for the Louisiana Beekeeper Association at $109 a night.
Wow.
So, I mean, you save $80 for one night.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like, small towns, if they only got one hotel, they have no competition.
Well, right? I mean, they've got several hotels there, but it's not no real big city. I mean, I guess just an average size city.
I'm curious to see when Lee's going to release another YouTube video.
Yeah, me too. It's been 40, I think I looked the other day, 43, 44 days since I've put a regular video out.
Yeah. Well, your YouTube channel's living on this stream then, like mine is. My streams, that's it, streams. Pig videos, Everybody likes humping pigs, I guess. I don't know. I was not expecting that when I started the video. It just kind of happened that way.
Yeah, Dan, I'm go to the Hive Life conference. I've already got everything set for that one too. In fact, the conference is January the 6th and 7th, but I'm going to be there, I believe, on the 4th is when we're showing up. I'll be there the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
The good thing about nothing to do in Alexandria is the fact that that means all the other beekeepers there, you can just talk bees for 3 solid days because there's nothing else to really do.
Ah.
So, what time is it? 8:23. We're going to about 10 o'clock again tonight, guys, like we usually do. So, I'm going to go ahead and copy the link in to chat.
And that's 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
Yeah. Yeah, that's truth. Go ahead and copy that link in. And if anybody wants to join in, feel free to come in. But if you join, talk. That's what it is. It's a talk show. Talk.
Talk more than I do.
Everybody talks more than you do, especially me. Let me just get this over here. Watch my own commercials. Give myself a thumbs up. Skip that ad. And I guess, do we know where Stream Team is tomorrow night?
Honestly, no. I hadn't checked either one, Stream Team or Hillbilly Hives Live. I don't know who's going where this week.
Well, Houston, it was on Houston's last week. Well, there's Rick. Let's see. Rick, we don't see your video, sir.
Now, Hickory Highs, I'm still around 280 right now. Bob's getting close to hitting 2,000.
I'm at 1980, what I just saw a minute ago. So I still got 20 to go.
Hey, Bob, I wanted to tell you something about your pigs. In my later youth, I used to take care of about 200, 300 pigs. And every summer I had to take care of my granddad. And I'll tell you right now, those pigs are going to end up killing that tree. They'll rub on it and they will kill it because they will rub all the bark off of it. So you need to put some metal or fence or something around that damn tree you have in the center there, or else they'll kill it.
That pine tree.
And what'll happen, they'll end up getting mites and lice. And the way to take care of that is to get some used motor oil and pour some used motor oil on their back. That'll get rid of the lice and the mites that they get. And that's the reason why they rub up on the tree and rub all the bark off of it. And yeah, trust me, I've been there.
They'll let me spray them with water, and then as soon as I spray them with water, they'll go flip in the dirt and then rub on the tree.
Yeah.
So you're saying mites are what's causing them to rub on the tree?
Yeah, probably mites and lice.
Okay. Well, I will treat them then. I have to find some motor oil or something.
Yes, just go buy one of those. Go buy one of those quick change motor oil places, and they'll have used motor oil.
I've heard that before. I've heard take used motor oil and powdered sulfur and mix it together too. I know they used to do that back in the day for like mange and mites and stuff.
Do they have any? I wonder if they just sell something over the counter at like Tractor Supply.
I'm sure they do.
I don't know. I don't know. This is like 20 years ago, man. I'm an old man.
I'm a first time pig owner. So,
well, here's the funny thing is that I was into the pigs like you are into the bees right now. So you're going the other way. You're going with a little bit smaller animal.
Well, the Porky was supposed to be a small pig, but it didn't turn out so
That's another thing I had to do. I had to mark the ones that were ready for market. And that large hog you have there, it looks like it's pushing about 300.
Oh, yeah. Which surprised me why that little pig just came in there and she just like gave up to him like right away. Just within minutes, she was like laying down and he was like trying to hump her.
They'll get along fine as long as they're both cut and whatever. But
do what? She's not cut. He is. Oh, Rick froze up on us.
I think he froze.
Yeah, you froze for a second. Yeah,
if you look at Tractor Supply, they got a couple of different flea and mite things for treating the yard, the chickens, dogs, kennels.
We'll have to ask Dennis said ask Earl if peppermint will work on Porky. Might.
Rub some peppermint oil on it.
Should be a good
I know they use more oil. That's what we used to use to keep, and it was available. But like, that was 20 some years ago. So I just want to tell you that. And I want to tell you about them rubbing on that tree, and it will end up killing that tree.
Well, I could probably do with one less pine tree. I just don't want it to fall on nothing like my truck or anything else out there. Chicken house, something like that. That'd be what happens in my yard. But yeah, I get trees falling all the time over here. From even the other property back there, they'll fall in my yard. And I'll be out there chainsawing them down. But
okay, that's it. I don't want to stay on here. I'll just watch you guys from the side.
Oh. We'll see you later.
All right, later.
So yeah, don't be shy. The beekeeping this time of year, I had one colony that was like really aggressive the other day. I had to close it back down. So I was like, yeah, it's a, little bit hot hive, but the other ones seemed pretty chill. I didn't have no problem, just the one colony. So honey and mustard glazed. That's right. This is This is a pig chat, bee chat, whatever the hell I want to chat about chat. It's pretty much it. It's I just happened to get a new pig today, so that's why the topic went that way. But
our topics normally go everywhere anyway.
B-Man, come on in, man. Click the link, B-Man. Matter of fact, I got to find the link. I didn't pin it. There we go. Pin. But so what's the next thing you're going to do with your bees, Lee?
Wait for another couple weeks for the goldenrod to start coming out. I've noticed everything's starting to grow up and kind of feather out, but no actual blooms coming out on it yet.
Have you treated them yet?
Yeah, I've done a couple of treatments in the rain, but that was it. I didn't open nothing up.
I just had the strips in there. I'm gonna give them probably a couple more weeks with the strips before I try to hit them with some. Yeah, Lee's been punishing the mead. You notice that's not the bottle with the skull in it. Where's the bottle with the skull in it? He refilled that bottle. That bottle didn't have that much in it last time.
Plus 2 more half gallons sitting up there. 2 1 gallons there. Well, let's see. Excuse the mess. 2 1 gallons there, and then a 5 gallon jug brewing over there.
Now, does it smell at all with the off gassing? Does it give out like a fermentation smell?
Whenever I started the 5 gallon batch for the first day, I got a little off gassing smell, but it's called it blew my airlock off the top. I had to put a blow off tube on it.
It did? It blew the airlock out of it?
It wasn't so much that it was blowing it off at first. It was just kind of over active, and everything started coming up through the airlock. Well, one of the raisins in it hit the bottom of the airlock and got stuck. So that caused it to force the airlock off. So I just had to put a regular blow-off tube into another container with water. You know,
I think there's a couple different the B-Man, because I see the B-Man.
Well, they got a B-Man and then the Bug Man.
Well, the B-Man that comes in here, I think, has got like 1 sub, I think.
Well, we have the B-Man here, and then we have the Bug Man 1966 that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, that's let me see. Why did I put the B-Man, not the B-Man? I need new glasses for sure. But if you haven't subscribed to the B-Man, there's the B-Man that has 34,600 subs, and he's in Ohio, Northeast Ohio. So he's up there with near where Brian is. And then I've seen another the B-Man that commented, but when he comments, it shows only 1 sub. So I don't know how YouTube goes, but I'm subscribed to the B-Man.
Yeah, Morgan, I made that mead myself and got more brewing.
Dennis, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
Well, anything above 84 degrees Fahrenheit, it's definitely gonna kill a queen or run the whole hive out. But I've heard a lot of people call it a queen killer, that it's pretty strong stuff.
I'm beating Lee this week in chat, viewers. Hey guys, we're thinking about going to the I don't know, there's no way to do a poll on this thing, is there? We're thinking about doing like everybody else, and do 1 week on my channel, 1 week on Lee's channel. I'll tell you, put if you think that's a good idea, drop a thumbs up in the chat. And if you think it's a bad idea, throw a thumbs down in the chat. And that way, we'll be flip-flopping back and forth channels. Everybody can hopefully find us.
I was about to say, I think it'd make it easier for everybody in the comments to kind of communicate. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, we're still all going to take turns getting the same amount of views. Everybody be on your channel 1 week, everybody be on mine 1 week.
Hey, look what we got.
Tim down here.
Hey Tim.
Guys.
How you doing this evening, Tim?
Live.
Doing good. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yourself?
Getting by. Bees are keeping me busy.
I saw your live feed yesterday.
Oh, that was a disaster. I did get them.
Hey, that's always the thing. At least it wasn't like mine. I was doing a live stream. I had the Pro Nuke up on top of the ladder and shook him into the box, got him closed up, walked down off the ladder, and the whole nuke went.
I did see that, yeah. Normally I shake the bees and they fall, no problem. This time when I shook the branch, they went airborne. Every time I shook the branch, they went airborne every time. They didn't fall.
Right.
So I finally, my cutter, actually, I had broke my cutter, so I got a new one here. I haven't put it on yet. You have to drill out the rivet in the big, the big long pole that you get, and I haven't drilled out that rivet yet, so I didn't have that available. So I do not advise this. I used a battery-powered circular saw. It worked.
Problem is when you was it in your yard? It was in your own yard?
Yeah.
Problem is when you zip off that low branch, then the next time they can only go back to a higher branch.
I have acres of trees, so
You just got to do like me, Bob, and put the ladder in the back of the truck. Then you can reach.
No, not happening. Not happening for me. I'm too old to be climbing up on a ladder in the back of a truck up a tree. No, I do have that long pole though, so that works pretty good. When I put that frame on the end of it and zip tied it on there, and when I'd hit that branch, Tim, when they would spread out like yours was doing, they would spread out, but they would land back on the comb. So I was just taking them and then banging them in the box, putting it back up there, shaking them. But they were 30 feet up and I was on the ground. And then they eventually got tired of me shaking their limb and flew to another limb. So I shook that limb a few times and they moved to a lower limb and I was able to get them. So,
I was surprised they didn't move. For as many times as I shook that branch, I was really surprised they didn't move elsewhere.
This year it's been kind of, all my stuff this year has been kind of quirky. I don't know. I mean, the bees are doing well, but it's just that the swarm 3 queens, one of them was mated, which only came out of a 2, maybe a 2/2 box. So it's like the amount of bees in that swarm greatly outnumbered the number of bees that would even fit in that box. So it made me think there was like multiple swarms kind of came together. But, it's just been like that this year for me. And
this queen came out of a box I just put in a couple days ago. There was another video I put out the same day. I had put the queen in a box just a couple days ago, and this is the same queen. So she grabbed a whole bunch of them workers, and they swarmed. I believe what happened is they made a new queen, and she came back about the same time.
Right. And then do you know so you think that you had 2 mated queens in there? Or
I believe that's probably what happened. I believe the virgin queen probably came back, got mated, came back about the same time I put her in there. There was one cell that had been opened. I removed the rest of the cells, but there was one cell that was open. I didn't think that was going to happen. I've had bad success this year. Probably 2 in 10 this year has been successful. So I was going with my odds.
Right. That's kind of what I've been doing too this year, just trying to play the numbers game, end up with more than I started with, and make a little bit of money in the process. And it's worked out okay so far, but now I'm starting to get these late season swarms for some ungodly reason.
Yeah, I wish they would settle down. I'm ready to start getting ready for winter here, and I really don't want to deal with these swarms.
Right, me neither. It always happens when I've got something else to do, and it's like, do I leave the bees there and go to the grocery store, or do I deal with the bees? So I end up dealing with the bees, you know, and skipping the store or something for right now. But it's just like, it's just been constant like that all year, you know, always just a ton of work. And now it's getting to the end of that, right? So at least, and you guys, what, you guys got maybe another month before it starts getting cold, or 2 months?
Oh yeah, it'll be end of October before it really starts getting cold. September will be pretty warm yet. October, you never know.
Right.
Yeah, we'll start getting cold about the end of January.
The end of January.
Last week of January, first week of February, and then winter's over.
But the temperatures here start to drop and start to get cool right around the middle of October, you know, a little bit cooler to where they're not as active all the time. Philip, you got your PJs on?
And Barney.
My Chainsaw Charlie shirt on.
Chainsaw Charlie shirt.
Hey, Phil.
How's it going?
It is still. I've got a still. That's the kind of chainsaw I have. Still, I think, or is it a Husqvarna? Might be a Husqvarna.
I've got to change out the carburetor in my Husqvarna.
I have a Husqvarna lawnmower, riding lawnmower. It does all right for the most part. I thought it would be a little bit more high quality than it is. Hey, Phil, flipping everyone at the bees. But
Keep you on your toes.
yeah, everything. So,
My new carburetor just came today. Got to put that puppy in there one night this week.
so you can cut your bees out of the trees.
I've got a couple trees down. We've had some bad windstorms this summer, and I've got several trees that are down.
Sounds like me.
Larimore is over there near you, ain't he?
He's about maybe an hour and a half east of me. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, The Rock is here. There he is, The Rock.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I just signed on to find out. I've never.
Where'd you get that panda bear on your shoulder?
That's another hat in the making.
Nah. Either she's licking her ass or the back of your head. Or
Is there a difference?
oh.
Sorry.
Jeez.
I don't know.
Whoa.
It's that's a lot coming from somebody who's like what's the mascot for the Ohio football team? A Buckeye. It looks like a squash
Buckeye.
bird.
Dog.
Hey, Houston. Hey, all. I just wanted to come on here and see if Phil was actually going to wear a kilt tonight.
Why would I wear a kilt?
You promised.
That was Brian.
That was Brian.
Brian.
He told Brian, stay in the States. They have enough idiots over there already.
I want to see Brian paint his face blue.
Oh, I
Tim,
still can't believe you
Bob,
did
you think
that.
Larimore got enough time left over there in y'all's area?
Oh,
Enough time. I didn't see the question. Oh, my queenless hives are drawing queen cells. Y'all think it's too late? You probably have enough time if you've got enough drones in the area. Because, I mean, it'll be a small colony, so you'll end up having to equalize it with another frame from another colony of brood. But if you keep it in a 5-frame nuke, I overwintered 2 5-frame nukes last winter, and they made it fine. I
mean, if it's a small enough hive, or he has another queen rate hive that's small enough, I would say a paper combined maybe.
Yeah, it really doesn't get cold where you folks are at either.
Mm-hmm.
It snowed twice here this last year.
I was thinking, do the double screen board. Separate them and do a double screen board. And if the new queen doesn't work out, just
pull the
board out and merge them.
Yep, you do that.
Yeah.
I've got my queens are laying. They're not laying in the bottom box. They've just about all of them have moved up and are laying in. One of them's like that one that I did the demo ray on is laying in the third box up, and they're storing honey in the second box in the middle, and very little stores in the bottom. I mean, there are some, but most of her stuff is up top. She's moved up, which doesn't make too much sense considering the temperature. You would think that the heat, it would be hotter up top, but they know what's going on in their colony better than I do. So I guess I got to let them roll with it. Most people's, I think my instinct would have been last year to reverse the boxes and put her on the bottom. But, you know, Ed, Mr. Ed, that is, he says he stopped even rotating boxes because in nature, they don't rotate the boxes. They just put it where they want it. And that's how they roll with it. So,
you know, something where you guys are as warm as you are. Yeah.
Just let her do whatever, right?
Yeah. I definitely rotate the boxes here just because they'll clean out that upper box and, you know, just flip them over and then there's more room.
And the Bugman's in Charleston, South Carolina. He's an hour from me. Hour and 20, hour and 30, something like that.
Oh, Tim, where in Ohio are you?
Near Cincinnati.
Okay. I've only spent time in Cleveland and Chagrin Falls, so I don't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, Chagrin Falls was fine.
I used to live in Cleveland. My dad was a recruiter in Ohio.
What branch?
Army. I was born in Akron, and we lived there, and then moved to Cleveland, and then from Cleveland, he got moved to Iowa, and then we got moved to Iowa, and then from Iowa we went to Germany, and then here in South Carolina. So, been all over with the military. So that's, you know, one of the things that I tell everybody, I've been in the military pretty much since I was an embryo. My dad was an E9, you know. So yeah. I was another troop when he got home. Grass doesn't look good. You can't go out tonight. On restriction. That was his thing. You're restricted. So
yeah. I want to ask a question, you guys here. And my neighbor just asked me this. We just ran a whole bunch of cedar tongue and groove. You know, and I'm embarrassed to say this to Phil, but it was only somewhere between 400 and 700 board foot, you know, and you do that in a minute. But I know that, you know, some guys have gone so far as to build entire hive boxes out of cedar. And I'm talking to my neighbor about that. And he says, you know, I wonder if that cedar, it doesn't affect the bees, right? So no, it doesn't seem to be. Well, what about the other bugs that are in there? He's referring to beetles and, you know, and mites.
Well, I know for years, and they still do it, that women put their clothes in cedar chests to keep the moths off of it, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've got a cedar closet here to keep the moths off the wool, but
that's what I was about to say. All of our closets here, when we remodeled everything after flood, all the two of the walls in each closet, it has the cedar planks all the way around.
Yeah, and after losing some really nice wool sweaters from New Zealand, I just went right to that. But that got me thinking about something else. So I leave my box.
Hawaiian shirt.
What's that?
They left that ugly Hawaiian shirt and ate your good New Zealand shirts. Those moths had good taste. What are you talking about?
Pretty much. So what I got to thinking.
What about the cat fur jumpers, Mike? Are they okay?
What's that?
The cat fur jumpers, are they okay?
The cat fur jumpers?
Catbird jumpers?
Cat fur.
I need to speak slowly again for you, Mike.
You know, one of these days, you know, it'd be one thing if you spoke Gaelic or something.
Maybe I need subtitles too.
I'm not getting into the Welsh accent. Sorry.
Oh, cheeky.
No, in all seriousness, though, I got thinking about it. So I take all my boxes and I leave them outside. You know, it gets to be like 10 degrees. If the wax moths live through that, they can have all the empties, right? But I got to thinking, you know, if I just take some cedar strips and put them in with the in the supers,
Hail High,
keep the wax moths out.
Hail High said, I built screen bottom boards from cedar. Nope, still have wax moths. Just lost the colony.
Okay, thank you very much.
So,
Yeah, I don't trust anything that Hale says though. So
No, he's gonna come up here now. It's a rock current, but not much else, he says.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, because I figured that, we would have heard something about that before, right?
Well, you would have thought that about peppermint too, but yet we didn't.
Well, really good point. Really good point. A rot deterrent. Yeah, no, exactly. So I don't know. I find wax moss in my top screen inner covers.
Mike's ruthless.
I'm sorry. We moved. My back is hurting me. I'm just kind of ornery.
He's high on that back pain killer.
Yeah, Claritin.
Claritin.
Hey, is it Claritin D?
No, it's Claritin shallow.
Okay.
It's not deep. It's shallow. It's a medium. It's just a medium.
Nah, I'm just gonna say, if you're having back pain, look at the side effects of Claritin D. It's a back pain.
No, actually, I don't take any Claritin. In fact, it's interesting that I should just pull that as a joke, because, how many beekeepers do we know that actually have summer allergy if we eat our honey on a regular basis?
I do. I've had it bad this year, and I eat honey.
Have you?
Yeah, pretty bad.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Of course, I smoke, so that probably has something to do as well.
Yeah, so that could do it. Say, Tim, do you have a crap load of maple trees there?
Yeah, we have a lot of maple.
Man, I couldn't believe how much maple was in Chagrin Falls. It just blew me away.
A lot of maple, a lot of black walnut. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of pollen. Your first pollen in the spring.
Yeah.
With all those maple trees.
Yep, got one right outside my door here. Gigantic one.
Very nice. Very nice.
You got me wanting one of them M2s back there.
Ragweed. Yeah, we actually might have more of that this year than ever, and I might actually have a little bit of a late fall flow.
In Mike's case, it's on the ragweed.
Completely. And by the way, I plan to shave your head.
Mine? There's not much to it. It's falling out already. It's not turning
okay.
It's turning loose.
I bought a brand new weed whip, so I'm excited to try it.
Oh, I went out there the other day and I still got harassed, even with the battery one, which is unusual.
Okay.
But, I did have them kind of hyper after going in one of my colonies.
I used a lawnmower cut around mine the other day, and then went back with a weed eater, and they didn't bother me none.
I always get this one bee that just don't want to stop, right? You could walk like half a mile and it just that one bee is with you.
Yep.
Then, I
yeah, I did have a lot of turkeys here. Thanks a lot, Randy.
No, I don't have any palms that I know of near me.
Palm
No
trees.
Palmetto trees, yep.
Oh, okay.
At least not within range of my bees that I'm aware of.
So Hale wrote, wax moths are all over right now. Does that mean they're prolific or they're done?
I'm probably saying prolific right now, because last year
thinking.
I had a wax moth infestation about the end of August, beginning of September.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I told you they got in my my grain little tote thing for my hog feed, and I had wax moth larvae all in it. The real big larvae were just in the bottom of it and undulating around. So I just took the whole rest of it, probably about this much in the bottom of the thing, and just dumped it in my chicken coop and let the chickens have a field day. So they cleaned it.
When they do that, do they tear the crap out of the comb too?
That was in my hog feed container.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It looked like maggots, but it wasn't maggots. It was wax moth larvae. That's one thing.
A lot of protein.
Yep, I could tell the difference between a maggot, a wax moth larva, and a hive beetle larva now. So that's one thing beekeeping.
Yeah, wax moths laugh at peppermint. Oh man, I just
why I don't understand it. If I'm using my weed eater, they'll get upset with me, but they'll let a moth come in the colony and just do what it wants to. Why don't they just tear that thing up? I don't get it.
You can put one
I
of
don't
those
know.
bug zappers
I mean-
outside at nighttime. That'll catch a bunch of them.
Yeah, catch a bunch of my nighttime flying bees I got too around my light.
Yeah, that's right. You got that big
that
light
was a
there.
meal moth larva. Okay. That's interesting.
Meal moth's larva.
So, have you guys
Okay.
started all your mite treatments?
Yeah, I started mine like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I put Apivar in, and I'm gonna let that go for probably another couple weeks, which means it'll been in there for a month, and then I'm gonna start blasting them with some OA. So make
Okay.
sure it's knocked down really well, so the bees can hopefully stay on top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the second of my 5 OAV treatments in. I'm doing 5 treatments once every 4 days.
I do
what
the
are you
5
doing
treatments
grams
once
per
every
box there,
5
Tim?
days.
What'd you say, Mike?
What are you doing? I'm sorry, Lee. What are you doing grams per box?
As much as the cap will hold.
1 gram per box.
Bingo. Yeah. Officially, I'm following the regulation. I am following the regulations as much
Yeah.
as the cap will hold.
Yeah,
Read between the lines.
that's it.
Yeah, there we go. So I've started mine, but I also ordered a tub of Apigard.
If you don't mind me asking, how much is a tub of Apigard?
The only place that had it right now was Data. Everybody else is sold out of the tubs.
That was the
And
same
I
thing with Apivar
think-
too, I think.
I think it was 125. I think.
I like date ant, but the only thing I find with them, their shipping department usually takes a little time to get everything out the door.
Yeah. I wanted to order it through Man Lake because, well, it's here. But I did it like 3 days too late, and they already sold out of the tubs. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to buy a whole crap load of, the little 50-gram things. To treat all my hives with those things twice would have cost as much as a 6-pound bucket of that stuff. So
Daisy's using Formic.
So Daisy, when you're using Formic, are you using the 2 pads at once, or are you spacing them out? That's we have a queen raiser down in Iowa here that she said no way, I don't do 2 pads because it's just too much bee drop. So she does it, like 2 weeks with one, 2 weeks with the second one.
Well, some of my colonies, this is actually the second Apivar treatment they've gotten.
Okay.
I don't know if it's too much or not enough. I don't know. I've never used it before this year, and it was about to be outdated. So.
Well, that's right. You got that crap outdated stuff. So it's interesting. The last time Bob Binney used Apivar, he said, "Screw it. I put in 3 strips per hive per box. That's it." And hey, Cajun, have a good night, buddy.
Good night.
So I did that. I did what Bob was suggesting, and kind of went from there. But Apivar is in back order here.
I see DC talked about the dribble. Have any of you guys tried that?
I haven't tried it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but
I'm curious.
We're actually doing the we are doing the Swedish sponge.
Okay.
And we have
now, is that the same thing that Cayman was talking about recently?
Oh yeah. Yep. That's it. And they got an exemption to do that. And I guess the news to you guys is that, of course, it's not allowed, but we have a beekeeper here who's running around 1,000 hives, and that's what he does. And he says, I never have a problem with mites.
How does that sponge work exactly?
Well, you mix it with glycerin and the oxalic, and you put it in there, and the bees walk over it and spread it. That's the only thing that I've got. I don't know that for certain, Tim. So that's want to buy a Swedish sponge. I'd like to have a Swede give me a sponge bath. That's a separate issue.
Not that sort of channel, like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, like that. What was the last spammer that we had get on there? So
I had pig porn on a little while ago, so
oh, okay, that's what it was. So yeah, I think that's what's
Porky's
that's
4, I
basically
think
what's
that was
going
called.
on. But what's really interesting to me is that Bob Binney, if you guys have not seen him talking to the Australians about dealing with mites for the first time, he goes through his whole history of mite treatments and everything else. And he was talking there about the guy that breeds the queens for him down in, was that Carolina?
Florida.
Was it Florida? Yeah, he was talking about that he's going to start doing the shop towel mix of canola oil and tea tree oil. And I thought that was really interesting. Now, this guy's that he's got this from, real quickly, if Bob's going to try this, odds are there's something there, right? Bob also tried Randy Oliver's Swedish towel thing, and it killed 200 of those hives. We think that was from humidity. So they think they've got that figured out. But oddly enough, I've actually used tea tree oil to treat cats with mange before. And it's a certain topical thing, but it seems to kill those mites. So I don't know. When you guys hear anything about that,
Will it work on pig lice? That's what I need to know.
are you serious about pig lice?
Well, I just learned about it from Rick a little while ago on the.
I've never heard of pig lice. Sorry, I got to turn the stove down here. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents there.
Look at the cat. We'd rather look at the cat than you anyway.
Hey, that
Cat,
screen looks a
cat
lot
looks
better
very
now.
nervous.
You guys are great. Oh, so hey Phil, what are you doing for my treatments?
I have Alcatraz strips.
Amatraz?
Oh well, it's called Alcatraz, but it is the active agent is Alcatraz. Yes.
Well, that's what's in Apivar as well. Amatraz, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the strips that I have are called Alcatraz.
Pig brand
But it'll
OL.
probably be September before I put them in.
Okay.
Brian,
September. Well, what temperature do you get in September around there? About the same as it is now, or is it colder?
We get the same
about
temperature all year
50?
round.
All year round, it's like freezing, just cold.
Well, it was 83 degrees here at the weekend. We had a heat wave. We had our summer on for
Everybody
2
wearing
days, Saturday
shorts
and
and
Sunday.
Crocs,
Oh yeah, we're all burnt to a crisp.
socks and sandals,
Oh
walking
yeah,
around.
we're all red.
What are your winter temperatures, Phil?
I'll have to go in centigrade. We rarely get below 0.
Okay.
Centigrade.
32.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
freezing. But then in the summertime, the high is
We rarely get above 70.
so you stay in the 30, 32 to 70 most of the year.
Yeah, we have a very small. I mean, at the minute, our between our day temperature and night temperature, you're looking between 55 and 65 day and night. Very small swings in temperature.
That's wonderfully moderate.
We're getting,
And typically wet, although it has been quite dry this last couple of weeks. But
it's only
So,
a lot of rain.
so Phil, with those temperatures, do you get a brood break in the wintertime?
I would say yes, probably December, January.
It had to be a short one.
Yeah.
About like us in South Louisiana, you get a week and a half, 2 weeks of winter. And
my
then you're
queens
back in
just
spring.
take Saturdays off. That's it. All year long, Saturday.
But again,
No,
I'm just literally entering my second year of beekeeping, so I'm very much a newbie still.
Hey, this is only my 3rd year. We still learning.
Lee, what did you say you were doing for your mite treatments?
OA.
Okay.
Now, do you believe that you need to alternate? Is that something you guys do, alternate, or are you just pretty much staying with the same plan? That's the reason I introduced the Apivar this year, is because
I've heard a lot of them say to alternate, but then I've heard the OA, they don't build up a tolerance to it because it kills them. I don't know. I've just done the OA. The first year I didn't do anything. Last year I started doing OA.
the only thing I've ever done is OA, and then this year I added Apivar. So it took a break.
Yeah, I'll put the strips in start of September for about 6 weeks, and then probably December I will do the OA.
LaGrange says he does the same as Ian Stepler. Does Apivar followed by 1 to 2 blasts of OA. So,
Okay.
well, last year I just hit him once a month with OA, every month, and then in the fall I hit him once a week for 3 weeks straight, and that's all I did. And they did well last year. But then again, in the spring, I did have one colony that had a few deformed wing viruses that I had to nuke, and so there was a few issues there. But okay, so they can't build a tolerance to OA. All right, but
Well, that kind of makes sense. But the funny part of that, though, Dan, is that after decades of them using it, like 30 years prior in Europe, nobody on the planet still knows exactly how it kills them. That's the damnedest thing.
The thing is, it gets kind of confusing, right? That's why we all have this discussion. What are you using? What are you doing? How are you doing it? Because you get kind of conflicting results and conflicting reports. I mean, I love Cayman's channel, but Cayman put out, he OAs, right? But then he did that thing with the guy from Florida, and it says, maybe it's not that effective.
Yeah, Cameron Jack, though, he was talking about down in Florida where they don't have a brood break.
Right, but
if I remember right.
But I don't have a brood break here, really. So it gets to the point to where it's like, well, which way do you go with it,
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, we're just talking about mite treatments here and what we're doing right now.
I just put mine on this past weekend.
And what are you doing?
I'm doing Formic Pro. We have a window of opportunity here in Maryland where I've got 5 days of 80 degrees or slightly less weather and low humidity. And I do the 2-pad method. I was advised by Dr. Sammy Ramsey, the mite guru himself, as I call it. He found through his experiments that because of the 2 pads, that it penetrates the cappings better, whereas the 1 pad doesn't quite do the job. But, the biggest thing is temperature. It's critical sensitive.
Oh, yeah.
And the first 3 to 4 days is the most crucial.
So what's like the upper temperature limit to use Formic?
85. That's
84, 85.
Yeah, see, I got
words. If it isn't 80 degrees or slightly less, I won't use it.
I think the low is 50 degrees?
Something like that, yeah.
I would have to use that in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, down where you guys are at, I don't think you could use it at any time, can you?
Well, I mean, to give you an example, today, right now, it's 72 degrees with 90% humidity. So, I mean, but in the day, it's 88, 89, 85.
No way.
90.
Heat index, we hit 109 again today. Right now, I'm still showing 102 heat index.
Forget it.
What is humidity?
And another thing now this is my opinion.
What was that, Mike?
No, I'm just the tractor's running out.
I was wondering what your humidity was, Lee. That's
my
70% right now.
okay.
49.
My opinion is that
They're clustering in Ireland right now.
49 degrees. Jesus. But my opinion is that if you high humidity, to me, is detrimental to the hive more so than, I mean, even along with that high heat. And
It was 100% humidity at Hale Hives today. Wow.
well, if it's 100% humidity, then isn't that raining? How's that?
It feels like it's raining.
Yeah.
Hale Hives, he probably ain't 10 minutes from me by bird flight.
Mm.
To answer Hale's High's soft treatment question he had up there a little bit ago, the way I treat with OAV, he had talked about it being a soft treatment. It doesn't kill very efficiently. I use screen bottom boards, so I treat every 4 days, and I check the bottom board for mite drop. So I keep treating until I don't have a drop, is the way I treat mine.
Well, I think it's more, from, I don't know, this is again just an opinion, but the you think, when you cloud them and they you'll see bees coming out the front that are all white, that they've been powdered and get powder all over them. The other bees are like picking at them and trying to clean that stuff off, so that probably helps them pry the mites loose in that process.
Tim, I love screen bottom boards because I like to just see what's coming off. And unfortunately, I'm shaking my head here when you said that because I have my hives in a 4-pack pallet configuration right now, so I can't pull them out. And that just sucks. But we're going to be doing a quad wrap over the winter that Troy has found insanely successful. But I miss being able to pull those things out and see what's going on. And by the way, for those of you guys that missed it before, if I'm just kind of curious about if I think I've killed all the mites or whatever, I'll go in there. Yeah, I'm wrong.
When you're dead, hit them one more time to make sure.
Yeah, amen, brother. No, and even just sometimes for giggles, in between treatments or when the flow's on, I'll go out there with a powdered sugar sifter and dose them really heavy in between the frames, and they groom those mites off but good. It's just interesting. It's it's like it's like when I took the squirt gun to the bearding in a bees. Why not? Whatever. It's a little craziness there. Hey, Charlie, I don't know if you got my message or not. Do you have any honey for sale?
Yeah. Didn't you see my text or whatever it was?
Oh, I screwed up there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I got plenty of honey for sale.
That's wonderful. I figured you had. I'm sorry I missed the message. Yeah, no, my cousin has got the allergies, and he lives in Gaithersburg, so it's just what?
He's a good ways away from me, though. He's about at least an hour or more.
Well, they go to the Chesapeake quite a bit, so.
Okay.
So that's.
I can load him up, no problem.
Wait.
That's how it was this week, at least, or this year. We had 75 or 78 on Wednesday, and on Saturday it was snowing. And then the next Wednesday it was at 75, and the following and it was like snow 75 snow, 75 and then snow again, 2 weekends in a row.
Really?
That's how we were in February.
No kidding.
And it just and that
Speaking of some of that honey from up north, though. Let's see, pull this up.
You got up north honey?
Oh, that's pretty.
From Sean
in Iowa, right?
Michigan.
Where?
Michigan, I believe he said.
I thought he was the Iowa beekeeper.
Sean
Buteris.
Buteris. I'm pretty sure that was Michigan. Let's see.
I get Steve from Daisy's Honey tried my hot honey. I sold all of that, by the way. All my hot honey's gone.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, we got to get on that. I have to talk to you more about reducing your moisture there. I just saw something come out with somebody power to you. I fog them with mineral oil every week and all summer long. Why?
For mites, I guess. I've never heard.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I mean, every time I see somebody do that, I always want to know, well, what's your mite wash?
Be like me. Don't do them.
Yeah.
I just assume they have them and blast them. I'm gonna blast them anyway. And then
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was in Michigan.
that was Michigan.
Yep.
Should have got him to send you some maple syrup.
He sent me some
All right,
basswood.
coming to-
Oh, that's basswood honey.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of minty flavor. It's pretty good.
Wow.
That's from the peppermints, man. That's not from the basswood. He's using peppermints, and it's infiltrated his honey. He's the only one.
Tim, your December is probably 20 degrees average colder down here.
Hey, Mike, how do you check yours? Do you check all the hives, or do you just check spot check?
I do spot checks. I really do. And by the way, I'm glad you mentioned that, because on an unrelated thing, you know, we're all using the the Easy Check thing, and I ran into a discussion with Randy Oliver. I think it was maybe about 3 days ago or 4 days ago, maybe in last week. But he was talking about when the Easy Check came out. He said no, he didn't like that design because the slots were the wrong size or something like that. And the one that came in was recommending. I actually have one of those on order.
Did you get it from the bee company? The Saracel.
Yeah, what is that?
It's the Saracel mite check.
Oh, Saracel. Yeah, yeah. I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, I trust Randy just because he,
Came in
researched
the
the
same
shit
thing.
out of stuff. But it was just interesting you had in there. And I don't know about you guys, but when I go to shake the Easy Check, I'm tired of that shit spilling all over my hands, no matter what you do. That's just me.
I know. Yeah, there it is. The Varroa bottle, test bottle from Saracel.
Yeah.
It's actually cheaper than the other one too.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a little bit cheaper price. That's 17 versus 24. Or 18, 17.95.
Over at Blythewood.
Yep, that's Blythewood Bee Company.
It's cheaper on Amazon as well.
I think everything's cheaper on Amazon.
Yeah, that's because people like me are sitting in my living room selling Easy Check. No, I'm just kidding.
You get all kind of stuff on Amazon, pretty good price.
Hibiscus flowers.
That's for the mead.
You're gonna have floral mead.
Hibiscus mead's pretty good. I got some in the other day. It's got hibiscus and hops in it.
No kidding.
Called Viking.
Before long, you'll be looking at the back of Lee's room, and he'll have like wine barrels, big wine barrels, Jack Daniels barrels along the wall of mead. We'll start calling him Friar Tuck.
Yeah, that's okay.
Friar White.
Speaking of that, I'm going to
We're always saying, remember the days Lee didn't drink.
I know. What was that, a week and a half ago?
That was just like, I
I
really don't drink that much. Now all show he's pouring himself glasses of mead.
Well, the stuff
You need to get the pinky up. Lee, you need to get the.
I still have this sitting over here that Steve brought me when he came to visit me.
Oh, no kidding.
Blueberry mead.
Oh, goodness me.
I still got a bottle in the fridge.
Zoom in on that, Lee. Lee, zoom in. Let us see that.
Balls of steel.
It's got a little bit of kind of like a pinkish color to it, I think, from the hibiscus flowers.
What do you got in there? Balls?
That's stainless steel ice cubes.
Stainless steel ice cubes.
Keeps your drink cold without watering it down.
Lee, do you prefer spring honey or fall goldenrod honey for mead?
I prefer the darker honey myself.
But you haven't made mead out of it yet.
I haven't made mead out of all of it yet. Now, a guy that last year, or was it this year? I don't even remember. I sold him 2 gallons of honey. He was making, and I sold him a gallon of light spring honey and then a gallon of dark fall honey, and he was making mead out of both of them. Now, which one it come out, I don't know.
To get started with mead, how much do you, if you just got the bare things you needed, one of each of them? I know you go overboard with the shit, but how much is like just the bare?
I'd say a 1 gallon carboy, 3 pounds of honey, a little pack of yeast, and you only need a fifth of it for 1 gallon, and then finish filling it up with water.
And then you need
An airlock.
airlock and a bung for your carboy, right?
Yeah. Hey, that's
So
just
when
for a
I-
basic mead. Now you can put a little bit of raisins in there and get a good texture, what they call tannins. You can do all different stuff. Blueberry, strawberry.
Next, you're gonna have wood chips in there, smoked wood chips, so you can get that wood oak flavor. He'll burn the barrel, his big 55-gallon wine barrel, like Jack Daniels.
Talking about some French oak, medium plus toast.
Told you, this dude is worse than Fred Dunn, man. He could pull anything. We could be talking about pulling rabbits out of hats and doing magic tricks, and he'll reach over and grab a top hat and
That's wonderful.
Now,
side.
the one suggestion they say if you're making any mead with cherries, do not use sweet cherries. Use the tart, bitter cherries.
Oh yeah, no.
If you use
when you're
sweet
making
cherry,
wine,
it's going to taste like cough medicine.
Yeah, you want to control the acid.
Yep.
It's like winemaking. You know, the real final trick to making a good wine is controlling your acid level. But that's
Hey,
okay.
you're bringing that up to Hive Life next year.
Actually, I got a 5-gallon batch over there brewing right now. I'm bringing to Hive Life. But
I know why now horizontal. I know why horizontal hives booked you.
Then we can.
He
They're
didn't
going to
even
have
know that.
they're
Then.
going to be a very popular stall next year at Hive Life.
Nah, I'm buying a whole.
Tumblers, and we can walk around. Everyone will think we're drinking soda or something, and
There's
it'll
going to be a big queue at the horizontal hive
Mead.
store.
Now I'm buying a whole bunch of the little 2-ounce sample bottles, and I'm going to fill them up with all the mead, and just give them away. Can't sell them. You ain't got a liquor license.
Now, how long does it take before it's drinkable?
Before it's drinkable, 6 weeks. It
That's
ain't.
soon.
Gonna, it's not going to taste the best at 6
Okay.
weeks, but it's drinkable. Now you let it age for a couple months, then it starts getting better. That's why I'm trying to make the 5 gallons now. That way, say middle to the end of end of September, I can rack it out and then let it start aging.
I just found out I got 10 more 5-gallon buckets coming, so I can go get some more slurp for the bees. I should pre-sell that, right? I should just go ahead and list it on the Beekeeper Association. Anybody want to?
There you go, Daisy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that stuff is Stansar is fantastic. It really is. Lagrange said something about using 15 pounds of honey. I'm guessing
For a 5-gallon batch, I would say yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it as low as 8 pounds. I'm just wondering. See, I usually make my wines really dry, so that's why.
It has more to do with the yeast than it does the sugar content, right?
Well, not really. It depends. Well,
Alcohol.
it kind of has a little to do to both. The yeast that I'm using is Red Star Premier Classique. It has a 13% alcohol tolerance. So if you put enough in that you think you're going to get 15% alcohol, you're only going to get to 13%, and then 2% technically, you're going to have sweetness left over.
Yeah, so if you go with a thing called Levin EC118, which I primarily use, I can actually push that to 18 to 21%.
Yep.
Kodiak mead made with swamp water and aged 4 months with polyethylene.
I love it.
I got the,
Louisiana, South Louisiana.
I got the labels
one,
too I'm
Neil.
working on.
You got labels too?
Oh man.
I still got my floor cork machine from whenever we used to make wine years ago.
Hey, buddy, come on up.
The
You need
Come
to
on.
get your liquor license.
Jim, you're getting me jealous over there. Is he
No.
Jim, you alive over there?
My alcohol followed the decline. Say, now, I know I mentioned this to you guys before, but just throw the question up again. Have any of you ever had mead moonshine?
No.
I got a buddy that's supposed to be making some.
Oh, good.
I got about a quart of apple pie left in there.
Oh yeah, that was a wonderful one. No, I think we're probably going to start doing that as soon as the snow falls here, because we use the snow in the worm to keep things cold. So that'll be fun. Say there's somebody, Kaylee Marie. She's
That's
she
Lee.
made a mention of honey hard candy.
Yeah, I've seen some people take honey and basically you put it in a skillet and just cook it down real low until it
Okay.
evaporates more and more of the moisture out, and you can get like a taffy or a chewy candy out of it.
Yeah, taffy would be good in high temperature. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Kylie, that's my niece.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, Lee's too cheap. He's buying all this crap to make mead. Won't buy her a straw maker, honey straw maker. Some uncle you are. That'd have been on my first list.
I'm gonna have to order some and send to her.
Probably
would be
cheaper than
nice.
buying the machine.
$800.
Yeah.
There's
So
got to be a cheaper straw maker.
I found a cheap one, like a knockoff on eBay for $80 or $90, but how long it's gonna last, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it yet or not.
Lee, if you stopped drinking your produce, you'd have that $800, no problem.
He's drinking all his profits.
oh man. Honey taffy though. Honey saltwater taffy?
Mhm.
I'd like to try that.
Yeah, same here.
You know? I'm just a taffy fiend, so
Hey, Kylie, now you know what you can buy your uncle for Christmas, a straw making machine.
Hey, Kylie, what'd you send with Pappy? She said she sent something with my brother-in-law.
Oh. Excuse me. Bit of honey. There you go. Oh yeah. I was like that when I was growing up.
Hot hair iron straws and a syringe.
Mike, this is the closest I've seen to your
That Red Spirits 13.
13.
13th moon.
So what is it?
It's made whiskey.
Really? Okay, so we have a distillery here in Minnesota that does that. They
Yeah,
add
This is from New York.
okay. They add the honey to the whiskey here, but
Trying to see
Tim, what's that blue stuff in your background?
Jefferson County, I think it is. Can you see
Sure.
that?
interesting. No,
Oh.
I'd like to try that.
These are these go on. If you go into a high-end shoe store, the kind where you really can't afford to buy the shoes, they custom build make your shoes, your running shoes for you. These are benches. These are seats for benches in those some of the shoe stores. I do several hundred of these a year for some of those stores.
Do you laser them or you use heat press?
Yeah. No. That's lasered in there.
Nice.
So you can laser fabric. That's really interesting.
Yeah, some people laser in blue jean jackets and stuff like that. But I'm too cheap to buy a jean jacket so I can burn it up on my laser trying to get the settings right.
Hey,
Start with some old pants.
Speaking of lasers, have you guys ever seen anybody light a smoker with a laser?
Nope, not me. I haven't seen it. I've burnt through some wood.
We've all done that.
I made an ornament, and it was kind of fine. I actually changed the settings. I made this little Christmas ornament.
Oh, that's neat.
And I did one of these, and it got so hot, it just like this back piece just like crumbled. It just cracked afterwards. I was like, what the heck happened with that one? But now I think I got my settings right. And I made one, actually sent it out today for B-Bum. Let me see if I got the picture. I know I've got the picture, but where do I have it?
I've caught a gun stock on fire before.
What was the wood?
Probably walnut.
It was walnut, but it was from the German forest, is what I was told. It's some rare wood from Germany, is what I was told. They were able to refinish it.
Yeah, I was wondering what it had for a finish on it. I guess that.
Yeah, the oils. This had been setting for a long time, and it had a lot of oils in it. And the oils on fire.
Okay. Military grade flashlight. So actually, Bugman, I'd like to get one of those. Oh, look at that.
I made that one for B-Bum.
Oh, I like that.
That's,
Wow.
they're in Nebraska.
Market for bee tree ornaments and Christmas Walker. Yeah, if you could make some with a really good Christmas theme, I'd be all over that.
What
So-
part of Nebraska is he in?
Adams. I'm not sure exactly where it's at.
It's gonna make my 100th Christmas.
He's been my biggest supporter so far. He's bought tumblers. I've done hive tools for him, and then a Christmas ornament. And he keeps buying. So I keep. You know what? But to be honest with you, the amount of time I spent designing that one ornament, and then burning a few of them to get the settings right, and then finally, getting it all set. I probably didn't even make anything, as far as that with the design part of it. Yeah. If he was buying, if he said something like, "Hey, I'm sending these to all my customers," because he's got a beekeeping store. If he was sending that to all of his customers for the year, then then it would be different, because then you're batching, right? You're doing multiples at one time, so it makes it a little bit more cost effective. I sold that one $9.95 plus shipping. I think it ended up being like $16 or something with tax and everything on Etsy. So, but how many did I burn up designing it? And I probably, be honest with you, I probably put an hour into just designing that, only because I was trying to, in his logo, it's got the dashes where the bees flying. So I had to figure out a way to put those in there. So I put 3 little pieces of honeycomb over there so I could get those dashes in, and didn't have to edit it too much. But yeah, so it's fun. I mean, it's not like I've got, not like Tim there, all the cups for Hive Life, you know what I mean? But it's a start. It's something going, And no, it doesn't cut that thick. That was actually 1/8 inch basswood. So it's essentially, it's an 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch, but it's 2 pieces. So it's one's cut out and one's a back plate. So it's just
my pretty girl.
It's elementary stuff compared to what Tim's doing over there. How long have you been doing lasers, Tim?
15 years.
I've been doing it for like 15 minutes. So there you go.
Come on. Come here.
But it's a start. And
yeah, this is a real good week for me. I'll make a lot of money this week. I'm doing this, and I'm doing medical plates, some lasering some plates for medical purposes.
Well, how are you getting most of your clients? Just from your website? People just find you that way, word of mouth? How's it working?
Word of mouth, and then just web searches.
Okay.
And then they find me. So,
well, I get people that I'll post it on Facebook, and they may not get it right then, but then like they'll just show up, and I'll just hear ching from my app, and I'll have to look to see what they bought, and it's kind of fun when you're out working your bees and you hear your phone give the cash register sound. You're like, oh, wait a minute, I just made some money. Let me see what it is, or maybe lost money in this case, Well,
it's funny. I get these phone calls all the time from web developers saying your website sucks, and they're right. It does. It is a horrible website, and they're saying you can increase your business. And I laugh at them every time because I am busier. I could not do more business if I wanted to. So I laugh at them and I hang up.
What is it?
It's obviously the production level of your machine far surpasses what my machine can do. But the price difference is quite a bit different as well. So we'll just leave that out there. But I paid for this machine in 30 days from when I got it. It paid for itself through orders.
Okay.
And so now everything that comes in is just extra cash, so hopefully it'll get to the point to where I know I've got some stuff coming. Like I did some of these little bottle openers, but I put a realtor's logo on it and their information. And she wants me to, every year she sends every one of her clients that bought a house during the year a Christmas gift. And she wants me to do their Christmas gifts. So I'm trying to press her to get me the stuff early so I can take my time and get it right, but I know it's going to go. It'll be the last minute.
I've got 2 machines, and all day today, both machines are running all day. They will all week this week. They'll both be running.
That's awesome.
Make it while you can.
True.
Hey, I got a question for Charlie here. When you're doing your top feeding on your boxes, I forgot how you mounting those. Are you just putting what do you do in the top? I totally forgot. Are you doing jars, buckets?
I do top hot feeders. So my nukes have licensed top hot feeders, the plastic ones.
Okay.
And they fit well on the 5 framers. And then I have the Man Lake 4-gallon top high feeders for my 10 framers.
Okay.
You can put 2 gallons in each side. So, I mean, if you only want to do half, you can do that. And then when I'm feeding, I have a 40-gallon tank that has a electric pump on it. And I just pump it off I got a 20-foot.
You know what I noticed with that syrup that I just got? The bees aren't as robby with that. If I just put it on straight, like my wheat colonies in a frame feeder straight, it takes them a while to find it, but once they get on it, they're good to go.
Is it, what do they call it, where they cook it or they do something to it?
Inverted? No, he just said the guy that was selling, that sold it to us was on the dock there. So it's not, he probably doesn't know a lot about the process itself, but it's just straight sucrose and 2-to-1 sucrose to water.
Oh, it is 2-to-1. Okay.
Straight from Domino sugar.
Okay.
And
I mean, that's one thing here that when I went through my hives this week, actually a couple of weeks ago, I noticed it. Right now, our nectar sources are pretty much dried up until the goldenrod kind of hits late September or in early September. But I got run 3 mediums. Now I put the top mediums back on. That's what I run through the winter for three mediums in the hives. And they are packed with nectar. And the only thing we've got this darn invasive spotter lanternfly that came from China. And I'm starting to see more of them around where I'm at. And I went to our club picnic was here, I don't know, about 6-8 miles away. And I was walking towards the oak tree at this guy's house, and you could see these, it looked like rainwater drop, little drip, 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 drip coming off the limbs. And I said, what is that? He said, that's spotted lanternfly honeydew. So I guess this stuff is the honeydew from the spotted lanternflies that's in the hives.
Interesting.
I have tasted honeydew, spotted lanternfly honey, which has a little bit of peculiar taste to it. Some people like it, some people don't. But I think that's what I think that's what it is. And I don't look like I'm going to have to buy as much sugar. I mean, usually I'm dumping a couple 100 pounds of sugar into them right now just to get them through till September.
Because it was so much cheaper to drive an hour and a half to pick up the syrup in the buckets than it was to buy the sugar. Yeah. I mean, it cost me $12 to $14 to make a 5-gallon pail of 1-to-1 if I buy the sugar. And if I go up there and buy it, it costs me about $4 for a 5-gallon.
Really?
I'd be taking my total.
Yeah. Amen.
$8 for a 5-gallon pail of 2-to-1.
Oh, hey, speaking of buckets, so I went in the local Walmart here and the bakery, and I said, "You guys got any buckets?" And I think I forget if this is a 6-gallon bucket or whatever, but yeah, got it for $1. Got a couple of them.
They sell them over there.
Well, yeah, the bakery, because they use them to ship icing and whatnot, frosting.
You guys got a fast food restaurant in your area?
A what?
Fast food restaurant near you?
We've got a couple that we haven't burnt down.
Well, you should ask them for their pickle barrels. You have to clean them, but
I never thought about that. Yeah, no.
I'm lucky because I've got a buddy that works in the IT department for a local fast food chain. It's not a national chain, just a local one. And so he just asked a couple of the restaurants to keep them. So he says he's got me 10 more buckets coming. So next time I can go get 30.
Yeah, get that, or
the tote would be better. I mean, definitely would be, other than the fact that I would have to still pump it out to get the tote off my truck.
there's a happy birthday balloon.
Is it really your birthday?
Sunday was.
Well, happy birthday, Phil.
He's a half a centurion.
That's wonderful.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Thank you very much, guys.
Look at him beaming with pride right now.
Beaming with oldness.
He made 98% of them made it to 50 because the 2 fingers didn't make it.
Oh, we are covered with all sorts of stuff tonight. That's lovely.
Who's in the back laughing? Is your wife laughing, Phil?
Yeah.
Rightfully so. That's a pretty
He
good
knows
one.
you're just poking fun. That's it.
Yeah. Now Hickory High says he's up there in Berks County, PA, which that's north of me. That he had the lantern flies up there, and I know they probably had them a year or two ahead of me because they were. These things are like a big moth, and they cover the whole trunk of the trees and stuff. I mean, it's just. Oh, I mean, it's not one or two, it's thousands of them. They get there's a tree called a Mother of Heaven tree or something like that. I forget what it's called. Okay. They love that tree, and in my car, like I parked underneath that. Yeah, there it is.
That's big enough you could shoot it with a shotgun.
Oh, and they're fast. They jump fast. And
they jump.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you try to smash them before you get they're like a fly. They're gone. And I got to wash my car because I had parked my car there because it was hot and sunny. I was giving out mite treatments to members, and it's that bug residue is everywhere.
Here we go.
7. It takes 7 times of counting his fingers.
Yeah, well,
I can give you all the finger, but it just doesn't look the same.
In case you've ever wondered how you count in base 9, ask Phil.
That's funny.
I'm a computer person. I only go in binary.
Binary zeros,
ones and zeros.
Yeah. So anybody can get the syrup. You just have to go to the factory up there and pull in with your buckets. Now, I have halfway thought about selling some of it, but figuring out what the cost would be, whatever. I know my mentor bought 9 buckets from me, and he just gave me $10 a bucket because that's still only $5 a 5-gallon pail, and he's offsetting the cost of gas, right? So,
and speaking of sugar and syrup, that same Walmart that I went to, they were out of sugar. They had the whole shelf rack and whatnot. There was I think 10 bags there of different sizes. That was it.
Yeah, it's well, and they're going up on price. And if you go to like Sam's Club here, they do have like name brand sugar like Domino or something like that, but it's quite a bit more expensive than the Walmart sugar.
Now, if you go up there with one of the big IBC totes, would they give you I guess, a better discount versus a 5-gallon buckets?
Actually, they tried to jack the price up on us when we were there. He's like, "Oh, we went up on that. It's $10 a bucket now." And Dennis said, "I was just here like 2 weeks ago. It's $8. Besides, this is like a side hustle. It's not like Domino raised the price. You're raising the price and doing the same thing." He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll give it for $8 a bucket."
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Busted.
Yep. But you know, they bring out the hose that they use to fill up the tanker with, and they just fill up a bucket, go to the next bucket. So we had a little assembly line. The guy was filling the buckets. I was tapping the lids on and handing them to Dennis in the back of my truck, and he was stacking them in. So
You guys are going to hate me, but I have not had to feed this year. We've had just enough flow all summer long that the frames are damp, just enough to feed the bees.
Are you getting pollen too, Tim?
Say again?
Are you getting pollen also?
Yeah, I've got pollen on some of the frame, or well, all the hives have pollen in them. Yes.
Okay.
Mine were taking some dry pollen out of my pollen tube.
Oh, that's right.
A little bit.
We've had a lot of rain. This is the rainiest summer I can remember.
And yeah, it's been rainy here too, for sure. And if the rain followed the heat wave for about a month, where it was dry and just 100 degrees plus, and then all of a sudden it started to rain for the next month. So everything was dying out during the heat, and then so they were eating their resources in the colony. Then it rained, and they were stuck inside. So they just wiped out all their stores. So I'm just trying to get a little extra weight on the colony going into fall.
Well, I got 5 acres. I would love for it to get dry and have to feed the bees. I hate mowing my yard.
Yeah, we got. I don't have that much land here where I'm at, but around me, there's 14 acres that surround my property. That's just woods. So, really haven't had much of a problem. I guess with the bees finding stuff when it's out there. But they're just kind of, sometimes it just goes through that spot where there's nothing happening for a few days. And you can tell, I mean, if I put out syrup and there's something out there, they won't even touch it.
Yeah.
I had 6 25-pounds of sugar delivered from Walmart today. They were short 1 bag, so they gave me 3 10-pound bags.
Yeah, that's nice. Actually, the 10 pounds, I prefer the 10 pounds. They're just easier to handle.
I need.
What's that?
I said, not as much as I need.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they did. I wanted 300 pounds. They were coming out with 10 pounds. I said, look, I thought I went through the internet and all that. I said, never again.
How much do you go through, Charlie?
I think I got 2,000 pounds last year.
Okay.
And I mean, I can go to the restaurant store. I get 40, 50-pound bags on a pallet. And it's, I just checked. If I do 50-pound, 50-pound bags, 2,500 pounds, it's 60 cents a pound right now.
Okay.
So it's $30 and 40 some cents a bag.
That's sweet.
That's at least 10 cents higher than it was last year.
Yeah, see, that's what my mentor was doing. He was going through so much sugar that
the revenuers came.
yeah, so when he found out about this, he's like, yeah, we're going to get some syrup. So I haven't talked to him since I dropped it off the other day. He's like, well, I need to get you some buckets. Well, just save these buckets and I'll come collect them from you. You're not but a couple miles away.
As far as like food grade buckets, I mean, I don't know whether you guys have snowball stands in your area or not. You know what it is? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we've got some here.
They will, if they are using marshmallow, they come in food grade buckets. My sister has a stand, and she gets. I mean, she goes through buckets upon buckets of that. So that might be another avenue. Go around it in those stands and little stands like that. They might have 15 buckets.
Right now, I've got an unlimited supply of buckets coming in. Now the lids, they don't always give me the lids. So like he'll give me 10 buckets and 5 lids. So I end up buying some more lids. But
no, definitely with the lids.
Lids are $2.58.
I was about to say you must have been going to my local Home Depot then, because when I used to go up there and get buckets for stuff, they had buckets, but they were always out of the lids.
Well, Lowe's the other way around. They have lids and no buckets.
So Tim, you were talking about getting a continuous flow there. I'm actually going to be pulling some of the deeps out of the second super here and extracting that and then feeding them back, some 1-to-1, just so that they have pure sugar syrup honey to eat through the winter, so there's not as much solids in it. Because my bees sometimes they won't fly for 4.5 to 6 months, and I don't want them plugged up. So I'm very jealous. Are you on mute, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah, Tim's muted.
Mike, when are your girls in for the winter? When do they generally?
Okay, so that gets really kind of weird. Anywhere from the end of October to the end of November, actually halfway through October too, because we can have a big swing. I mean, it's not uncommon for us on Thanksgiving to sometimes see 18 below. It's rare, but
Mike, I always knew you were a big swinger.
You just silenced him. That's unusual.
And with that, guys, I'm going to sign out.
Okay.
That's not the swinging I was talking about, Mike, but you go ahead with it.
Well, happy birthday again there, buddy.
And just like that, we got porn. We got porn spam. Somebody crushed that. It's on Lee's channel.
Yep, I'm getting on it.
But
guys, I'm out of here.
All right.
Have a good one, Phil.
Have a great night.
All the best, guys.
Happy birthday,
Bob. Looking forward to the next piggy porn video.
Piggy porn video. I was not expecting that when I put George in there today. He just mounted right up. What can you do?
George is a mover.
He's a stud. What can you say?
All the best, guys.
You take care, Philip.
All right, Phil. So, DC was asking about the mother load frame feeders. I use them. I've got them.
Okay.
So I know Blythewood Bee Company sells them. I don't know who else sells them. So you can definitely get them there if you choose to. And, the thing is, when you call them to order something, if you're not doing it online, call them, ask them if you're a veteran, ask them to set up your veteran discount. So when you go online, it's automatically applied to your account. And that helps. And not only that, but they have like a rewards program. So like the other day I went over there and I bought some new gloves and what else did I get? Gloves, a couple queen clips, the stainless ones. Cost me $1.50 because of my points that I had. Yeah, it's like I think whatever you spend the next time you get like 10% of that back.
Okay.
So it's like every time I go, I'm getting a discount from the stuff I bought last time that I got a discount on. So it's definitely worth it for me anyway to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For, a pair of leather gloves. I got cheap gloves because I mess them up all the time. They were like $19 and something. And then the queen clips, however much they were. I know I bought something else. I just can't remember what it was because it was, I had to order over $50 to apply my $50 discount that I had with them. So Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Deer hunting in 90s most of October. Yeah, so our temperatures here can be crazy. Hot in the day, and then usually in October it starts cooling down around the fair here, which is like the middle.
I was trying to remember where Dennis lives.
He lives in South Carolina, about an hour north of me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
He's the one who turned me on to the syrup, and I went to
Yeah.
Dennis' place. He's got a nice place and some nice. He makes nice long hives too, guys. If you guys are like long hives, he makes
Oh,
some
no
nice
kidding.
long hives that he sells.
Yeah. So the reason I was asking Charlie about the top feeders there, I do have the man lake trough feeders, and I like using those for like drawing comb and just dumping a boatload in.
Mhm.
But I've switched over to like 1 gallon buckets because 12 of my hives are literally right behind the cabin here, and so what I did was I went out and bought a 71 millimeter hole slaw to put the glass jars in there, and I'm gonna go to that route. And
What you're doing, what do you call it? Migratory covers,
no, I'm not. I'm going through the
telescoping.
yeah. Sorry.
You're gonna drill through the stainless on top or whatever.
It's stainless or aluminum, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. I have a bought a multi metal wood whatever saw. But I'm gonna. I started looking at this and I want to ask,
The only problem is I mean, this is what I've got from
please.
the guy up in Vermont. What's his name? Shoot.
Not Peter.
Palmer. Michael Palmer.
Oh yeah.
Now he was talking about if you put like a jar feeder on there with the little holes and stuff, you're metering the fluid into the hive at a rate to where they're either eating it or they're feeding it, using it for brood and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's coming in at a rate where the bees won't really store it, maybe store some of it, but not a tremendous amount. Whereas a hot pie feeder, instead of having 300 bees out there sucking it down off that jar lid, you've got 3,000 bees and they're pulling it in so fast that you've kind of flipped the switch in their mind and it's like, oh, it's coming in so fast, we need to store this stuff and cap it. And that's what I always kind of
I've also noticed that with those jars, because I drilled holes in mine and put the jars upside down, and then they'll actually, if you let it run out, they'll actually propolyze those holes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got that same problem.
Then you got to take a needle out there and try to poke through it.
Yeah, needle or not so much a needle, but I don't know, paper clip works well. But that's why I use the top hive feeders. Now, like I say, this year for me is totally different. I mean, I pulled them top supers off of those hives, putting those Formic Pro strips on, and I mean, I had like 60-some pounds of honey. I mean, they're not capped, but they're just super weighty, and I don't know how much sugar I'm really going to take that much this year. Now, some of the 10 framers, I had a dozen of them. Some of them were like super heavy. Some of them were like 3/4 full. They'll take some, but I'm also about, put the 2 gallon on there. I don't, I have to come back within so many, within the next day or something like that to refill, and I'm done. I just, like I say, in the past years, I would go in there and those combs are completely dry, and especially this time of year. And then I'd get a text from the local.
That's how mine been.
Bee inspector and say, hey, are you feeding? I got a complaint from the local swim club. They're about 1/4 of a mile away, and I'm like, well, I'm not the only one around here. but that's got bees in the area, you know. But
Cleaning up the trash cans, all the soda pop.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. And then you got some guy over there that thinks he knows what he's, you know, oh, they're bees, and we don't want to kill them and all that stuff. So, like I went through.
Well, it won't do them no good. They'll kill the first batch, and tomorrow there'll be another batch out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I went through, I don't know, I fed about 150 gallons this time last year. And that's not loading them up. That's just, you know, making sure they got enough in their combs so they don't starve.
Right.
You know, you go in there, the first thing you need to be looking for is if it's a dearth type time in your area, you look at your combs and then you look at your eggs and your larvae. Does the eggs and the larvae have lots of jelly in there and they're nice and sparkly and moist and all that? All right, things are good. But when you get in there and it's in a dearth and here's your eggs are sort of dry, and where the larvae, the egg is hatched and there's a small larvae, is it sitting in a pool of jelly or just like a droplet of jelly? And that's telling you that, you know, they don't have enough feed coming in. They're trying to more or less kind of generate the jelly out of their own bodies. You know, that's what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
But if they ain't producing enough jelly, sometimes you'll see them start dragging those eggs or any larvae.
Well, you know, if they're not, they'll cannibalize the eggs. They will eat their own eggs.
So we're trying to raise the bees that raise the winter bees right now.
Yeah, right now
we have as much body fat as we can. I was going through the hives, and some of the hives are just loaded with pollen, and some weren't any. And I've got a couple that are just starved. So I'm going to do the Charlie thing here, the adaptation, and take my pollen stuff and start laying it against the frames. There we go. The pastry bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do that.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. You're making a pollen slurry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty doggone thick, but
well, you don't want it real oozy. You want it kind of like once you put it on top of the frame, it kind of sits there.
That's the mix I've got, and thanks to you, Charlie, because I wasn't going to do that the caulk gun thing. But to Charlie's point, though, when you go to inspect your hives, especially here, you know, where it's colder. You really have to lift every single second super, you know, the top boxes, and see how much weight is in there. And then you meter out your stuff. And by the way, the buckets that I have tint plugs in them. Some of them have got 4 holes in them, and some have got, you know, like 20 holes for a final dump, and trying to do that. But the thing I wanted to throw up at you guys is that one thing that's driven me nuts about all the top feeders, the bucket feeders, is that they're always top dead center. And, you know, I just would kind of like to move mine a little bit closer to the front or the back, whatever. So if there is a major temperature change, I'm not getting all that syrup coming right down on the brood. I don't know if that'd make that big of a difference, because apparently, you know, Ian Stepler doesn't seem to think so, or he's not concerned about it.
If you have a big enough population in there, they're going to get it cleaned up before it really starts dripping too hard.
Right, and if it's a marginal hive, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. But offsetting it a little bit probably would help some.
Well, that's what I'm going to do here, Lee. I'm just going to move it, you know, like maybe, you know, 1/3 to the back or front, you know, kind of go. Do you guys got any thoughts on that?
I didn't think about it when I drilled mine, but all of mine are drilled dead center.
Yeah.
I put mine closer to the back.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, your brood is going to be chimneling right up the center.
Yep.
And if it drips on your brood, then you've screwed that up. Or it's detrimental. So if you shove it off to the side, either back and towards the corner, off to the side, along the edge, that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah. Hale, here's the problem with that. I don't want to use frame feeders because I'm trying to actually plug the box towards the end of the year. I want them to have as much food in it as possible. I use frame feeders in the spring, absolutely, but in the fall here, I don't want to lose 2 frames to a frame feeder. that could be potential food. So that's why I do it that way.
You say you feed in the spring. Why is that?
It depends upon how heavy the box is.
Well, spring for him is like June.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, you know,
They ran out like 3 months ago.
oftentimes what will happen when Troy and I are going through the hives, we'll run into one hive that, you know, they're just a little bit more rambunctious. So they've eaten a lot more of the honey. And then we've got one right next to it that still has like, you know, like mostly full, and we'll just trade frames. We'll pull frames out and reimburse them that way. Yeah, doubles. Yeah. Yeah,
But
we
see,
plug
like-
them both up there, Hale.
See, the problem with our winters here, it's not like we have a long winter and then it comes out of winter and you're in spring. We have a couple days of cold weather, and then you might have a week
Oh,
of warm
that's right.
weather,
You
and then
guys
the
are
bees are out
seesawing.
flying. They're going through their stores, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
a cold front hit again.
I forgot about that. It's
Yeah,
you know,
you're more like a roller coaster effect.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
how it's been for us this year.
But you don't really. I mean, down there where you're at, Lee, I guess you don't really have. Do you? I don't even have a broodless time, do you?
Not
Good
really.
night, Hickory.
I mean, like I said earlier, the last week of January, first week of February, that's our coldest time. And then, I mean, we might have a day that's 30, and the next day it'd be 70.
You know, and
And
I
is it-
actually had bees flying on Christmas Eve here last year.
Yeah.
You know, just
Well,
going
it
out
was
to
78 degrees here on New Year's Eve.
What was it?
78.
Oh man.
But now,
I
is there
can't handle it.
anything for them to eat down there, Lee? You know, when it's in the middle of February.
February, we actually start getting a little bit of maple pollen,
Really?
mid to late April, mid to late
Okay.
February.
And then once March hits, we have the big green storm, is what we call it. It's just pollen on everything, all
Yeah.
car windows.
We'll start getting dandelions everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Little pine pollen everywhere.
So it's something I mentioned earlier. You people would absolutely just bloody freak out if you saw how many maple trees are where Tim is. I mean, I can't even imagine the pollen that would come in from there.
What do you mean, you people? I'm just kidding.
All of you rednecks.
What do you mean, you people? I almost did a joke with my laser today, Tim. It was everything that I could do. I was in Kohl's or one of these outlet stores, right? And they had leather wallets.
Okay.
And have you seen what's
JDS.
no, what's the one with John Travolta and gosh, Pulp Fiction. Have you seen Pulp Fiction? I almost got a leather wallet so I could put bad motherfucker on a wallet. You know, when he says, well, how will I know which wallet's yours? You reach in there and find the one that says bad motherfucker on it, and that's mine. So yeah, I wanted to do that, and then just carry it around when someone pull out my wallet. It just says BMF on it. I don't know.
Have you lasered leather yet?
I have it. It stinks bad.
It smells bad. Yeah, it does.
Oh,
I bought some of
maple
these,
syrup from the trees. That's funny.
These little leather bracelet things, like you'd wear in the 70s, right? The leather bracelet that has a snap on it. I bought some of those, and it was it was pretty bad, the smell. My wife's like, "What are you burning in there?"
I've got this for tomorrow.
Oh, you're doing somebody's glove?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. But so you'll get it started in well, you got good ventilation in there on your laser.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that shouldn't be that bad. Maple's not good for bees? What? No,
Oh, Hale made a joke about just tapping the maple trees and run it right into the hive.
just
I like that.
Well, see, like most of our maples we have around here, though, it ain't the actual sugar maple. Really, it's a water maple.
You know, it wouldn't be bad if you took a hive body in the second deep and you drilled a hole at an angle so you could pour your feed in through the outside of the box and it would just go in your frame feeder. That would be nice.
Yeah, that just propylize it up though.
Yeah.
Then you
And-
just spit the flap down over the front of it.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is that it'd be even nicer if you could just open up the top of the hive and oh wait, you can do that.
Yeah, but I
I
had
know. I'm sorry, Leah or Bob. I couldn't resist.
I've got some top hive feeders, and I don't like them. And it's the bees might like them, but I just haven't had good luck with it because if they don't suck it down like right away, then the next time I come in to do an inspection, or if I have to get back in, then I've got this 10 frame box of syrup that I'm trying to move so I can get in there and do something. Yeah, and then
you got to stay on top of them, and then on top of if you don't have them sealed really good with that foil wrap, then you get ants in and everything else, and
and then you got bees dying in them.
Yeah, it can turn into a nightmare. But
yeah, I mean, when I put my top hive feeders on, I'm at the point of the season for me. I'm done. There's no more inspection.
Yeah,
I went in. I'm gonna feed them, and then once I pull that off, I put the lid on them, and I'm done for the year.
Yeah,
well, I don't dig into my hives after that.
I've got some colonies right now that they're definitely taking advantage of the feed, the extra feed, and they're brooding up nice and stuff like that right now. So some of them are doing good. I actually robbed some frames and put them in that nuke the other day. So it's some of them are doing good. Some of them are just kind of puttering along, like they need to requeen or something. But at this point, it's like, like Jose said, he's not even sending out. If you're not ordering 29 queens or more, he's not mailing them. They're not sending them. So
by the time you figure shipping and all that in, I mean, it's hard to send really just 5
but
queens.
it's not like you're paying for the shipping anyway. So it's not. It's the only problem is they just have to make more boxes up, you know. So
I think it's more of a thing where he's commercial, and he doesn't want onesies and twosies. He wants big lots.
I sold probably 75 queens this year out of my little yard, 75 queens to other beekeepers because I just fronted the money and had the queens available. I could probably still sell queens right now. People,
did you see Jose shout out to you?
Huh?
Did you see my video with up at Kudix?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I saw it. But honestly, I prefer his queens over Cutix at this point. At least the ones I got this year. Next year they might be totally different. I don't know, but
I mean, I have to agree with you there. I had the same issues.
So I mean, those are probably the hives that are struggling right now for me. And half of me wants to go ahead and order some more queens and have them here and just go ahead and requeen them now. But then it's like, are they going to die over the winter? I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
Or make splits off of those colonies and put them all in 5 frame nukes.
Yeah, that guy was digging through those honey hives when I was putting strips in, and I was just pulling frames up. And I happened to say, well, it wasn't a virgin queen; it was a young queen that was just getting started laying and everything. So we'll see what happens there. And then there's another one out there that possibly queenless, but I'll deal with that in the spring.
Good night, Rhonda. Good night, guys. I'm going to take off here too.
Yeah, we're getting ready to call it here in a second.
Yeah.
I'm curious if that split that I made where I found the yellow queen in the bundle in the little cluster underneath the board there, if I didn't cage her. I just shook my hand and she went in the box. And I did check the next day and there was a little cluster hanging on the bottom of the frame, but there's a ton of bees in there. So I imagine it'll just be a little bit of time before her pheromone gets wafted around in there enough to go to work, So
I'm going to make my exit as well, guys.
All right, Tim, thanks for stopping.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, anytime.
Have a good one, Charlie.
Yep.
But anyway, It is 10:14. We're 14 minutes past. Let me see what private chat. Lee's probably like, I gotta go.
Well, one of them said late because I knew you said
Oh.
what time.
So whose channel next week, Lee? What we
I
gonna
don't know. You want to flip a coin or just?
I ain't even got a coin. I'm that broke.
I don't have one either.
Do the spinner. Do a spinner. Bob Lee. Bob Lee. Bob Lee. You know you live on a farm when you get in your pocket and you got pig feed in your pocket.
Well, what channel's running tonight? Both of you?
Yeah, we're on both tonight, but we're going to go to the every other week thing on one of our channels. So
Yeah, I think that's good for both of you.
instead of splitting it, and it's not like I got any super chats or anything tonight, so it's not like it, is making a difference financially like that. Some nights it is. Last week it was good. Good.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about maybe doing something like this. I'll have to get with you guys to figure out and tell me how to do it. Don't you have to set up the stream yard?
StreamYard, yeah, you got to set it up with your channel.
You got to get that new supercomputer though, Charlie.
Oh, and by the way,
I mean it's
graphics cards prices have come down.
Yeah, I've seen they dropped the other day.
So to give you an idea, the card that I have in this one that I paid $800 for last year is like $400 something this year. Right now.
Well, I would have bought the computer, but then my daughter stopped by for a check for the college, so that's pretty much what I'm
There went the computer.
So
all right. So let's see who's going to get it next week. We're still going to be live. We just don't know what channel yet. Dun dun dun! Come on! Oh. I got it next week.
Yeah, start on your channel,
and then every other week we'll just rotate.
Yep. Yeah. It'll make it a little easier for everybody in the comments to be able to chat and see what's going on.
Yeah, that's the way I can actually type right in the comments because I'm here on Lee's. I think I can see the stuff off to the right, but I can't type it.
You see what Hale Hives put up there? Charlie, you can team up with Rick. He knows audio. Rick's always got feedback. Every night he's got a loop.
Rick, who's Rick?
You usually come on after Rick Morse comes on. Hey, I've got a Pepto Queen. It's laying. I robbed its first set of eggs, so it started having to start over. And then I added some extra cat brood and bees in there too. So should hopefully ramp up where I can get it strong enough to get it in a 5-framer for the winter.
So who is Rick? Is he out of channel or what?
No, well, he does have a channel, but he comes in almost every week for a little while. Rick, he's got glasses. Usually sitting in his recliner.
Oh, you mean the bald-headed guy with the cigarette?
Yeah, Rick. Yes.
No.
So
he's up there in Minnesota in the coal mining strip area or something.
No, he's in Indiana.
Yeah, something like. Nah, I don't think so.
Well, I don't have any job yet. I haven't heard back from PSA yet, but if I hear from PSA, things may change a little bit depending.
What's PSA?
Palmetto State Armory. They build AR-15s and AK-47s, but the job that I'm actually applied for is a inventory manager. So in the warehouse. So if I get it, I'd be over the day and night shift.
We just got demonetized with that word.
What? Oh.
So what you're saying is you're not able going to do a Tuesday night thing maybe or something?
No, well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, right now everything's still a go because I don't have the job yet. But if I get it, then depending on what my schedule is, it might vary. But
Charlie said he's going to slide in your spot.
Charlie's going to take my spot.
I would entertain to where like all three of us kind of cycle around or something like that if that job thing comes through.
I'm easy.
Yeah, we can do something. We'll figure it out.
I'm looking at different nights. It's like Thursday nights you got the Hillbilly Hive chat and
tomorrow's stream teaming,
and Tuesday is us are here, and then I don't know, Mondays there's a local chat thing what I have on Mondays, which Here lately, it was, I've been getting honey in, and that's all done now. And I've got this one young guy. He got his honey and his supers out of my back porch, and he's got a few little more things to get cleaned up. And then I got one guy who wants 3 supers spun, and after that, I'm done. And,
now, when you spin somebody's super, do you just do it as a favor, or do you actually get some of that honey?
Well, the one young guy, I've been teaching him for like 3 years, so he paid me some money. But to be honest with you, he's going to get told, that, hey,
he's going to get taxed.
No, it's time for you to go on, and you've graduated, and it's go out and get your own equipment.
Right.
I've seen some people spin it out for others and charge per box, but then I've seen them say, "Hey, instead of money, give me some honey," and then they turn around and sell that.
I got 1,000 pounds of honey sitting here.
Yeah.
So I figured the guy with 3 boxes, I want $60, $2 a frame.
Well, what they don't understand is when they take their honey and leave, you still have to clean up all the equipment.
Wear and tear, electricity.
Well, it's not so much all that. It's just the fact that I don't have the time. I got a certain amount of time, and that's it. It's like weekends. All right, I have to work most half a day on Saturdays at the mill, and so I got it. Like over this past weekend, I had to cram. I took all that. Well, I waited. Started around 1 o'clock or so, and I did 12 honey hives with the Formic. And now when I did it, you'll see the video coming out Friday, but when I went through those hives, I actually inspected to make sure I had a viable queen and brood and stuff like that. And of course, I also was making a video, so that takes time. You guys know how that does.
Yeah.
And with me, I'm doing different shots. I'm doing an intro,
I don't forgot what it is to make a video.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I haven't made one in a while. Not a legit video. It's been a few weeks.
I sit there and do an intro, then I do the body of what I'm doing, and then I try to do an ending clip and that kind of stuff, kind of my style. And that takes a lot of time. It took me all afternoon to do the video, and then once I got a good amount of footage, then I just went ahead and did the rest of the hives. And then there was a show that I was going to go to Saturday night, and so I had to quit, get cleaned up for that. And then Sunday I went out there in the morning and slammed on these 20 nukes behind me and got through all that. I was thinking about doing a video about that, but I figured, well, what I did for the other, it's about a 14-minute video. I said, that's good enough. Just telling how to apply Formic Pro and stuff. Actually, I like editing videos. I like, I got this video that I made this past weekend, and it was like, kind of had it in my head, on what I wanted to do and what I wanted to say. And it was like, just just keep putting the clip together, and then cutting them and slicing and dicing a little bit, and I'm done.
Kind of getting in a groove of how you want everything done.
Well, biggest thing is when you're making a video, you got to kind of have or at least I do, a sort of a plan and how you're going to make the shots. And now there's a couple shots on here where I'm in 3 different hives, and the first one and the last one, I didn't realize that the camera was not showing the complete top of the hive where I'm down in there placing the pads and stuff like that. But you can still see it, and the one in the middle definitely shows how I place the pads and things. And I get to the point where a lot of times I get tongue tied. The words don't. I know what I want to say, but they don't come out of my mouth at the flow or correct sentence structure. And I won't put that out. I will go back and reshoot the whole, let's say, intro shot. And that what gets me is I'll shoot one and it's like, man, that's pretty darn good, except for this and this and this, and trying to recreate that is almost it's impossible.
Yeah.
So
It's like you do it one time and it's kind of halfway natural, but when you go back to redo it, it's like
it's not
me
natural.
too planned.
Yeah. Now Brian from Ohio, Castle Hives, he says he does one shot and that's it. I find that kind of hard to believe.
Most of the time I do, but I mean, mine really ain't nothing big production wise.
Well, I'm not a real productionist, but I mean, I have topics and all, and it's just like this last video I put out. Well, the ending clip is here at the house because I forgot to do the ending, while I was up there, and I don't know why I've done that two films in a row that way. So,
It's not hard to do. Get sidetracked, and then boom, it's done. You miss it.
We're first. I hate
When I
stumble.
stumble.
Yeah, that's what I do. I stumble on my words. I don't enunciate.
Well, the main thing is, I think that shows the realness, right? That there's some guys out there, guys that just make perfect videos. Black Mountain Honey does great videos. I'm never going to be to that level because I don't put enough time in it, and I don't have time to do that. And who knows? For all we know, that he might actually just do the videos. His wife or somebody may actually be editing and putting it together while he's at his day job or something. You don't know.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get my numbers up, and I think I'm at like 427 right now, which I'm doing. I mean, I'm happy with those numbers because
got more than Lee.
Huh?
I said you got more than Lee does.
Well, I look at it. I started March the 3rd, and I've done that much, in the last 5 months.
Mm-hmm. You came on here March, like a couple weeks later. You were on here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think something like that.
I know our first live that we'd done was like March the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been right around that time.
So we only been doing this for 5 months.
Well, I think I must have started creating videos about the time we created this channel.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I found your channel is I seen live, and I said, all right, well, let's click on that. And then there was Brian on there. I said, well, I met Brian at Hive Life this past January, and he told me what he would recommend as far as cameras and stuff.
Right.
And so I decided on a GoPro, and it does. I don't mind the GoPro, but I hate having to tear it down in order to put a battery in it or put a SD card in it. The connection part it needs to be totally redesigned.
Well, see, I bought that media mod for mine, but I don't use it, so I don't even really know why I bought it. Even before I got it, I'd planned on using my external audio.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't. I hook all that into my audio with a Rode mic and do it that way. And I've learned, to put the microphone inside your veil because the bees love it.
See, my GoPro has great sound. I don't ever have an issue.
Mine does too. I used that for quite a while, and I didn't really see where there was much difference between the GoPro and a Rode mic. But then I started listening to certain things when I was doing where if you turn your voice away from the microphone, it'll fade.
If you turn or move or you walk down to one or two hives down to grab something and come back, you don't hear it quite as good on the GoPro.
And I'm learning. It's like this last video. I'm going through the hives and without doing any editing, and I'm sitting there talking to the audience about the hive and about what's happening in my area and that kind of stuff. And the dead cat, they just love that sucker thing. I don't know why, but they do. That foam, they're all in there. And I had one time where it just ruined the whole damn video. I'm like, all right, we're done with that.
Just think, my wife doesn't edit anything. She doesn't even watch my channel, really.
Yeah.
That's what I got on my little Rode lapel mic, like the dead cat.
Yeah. Well, see, what I do is I put that Rode microphone. I put it up. I got my hat, and I always have it clipped up on my bill of my hat, and it works well.
All right, guys. Well,
I got the audio recorder.
Yeah. How do you put that in there and then put it all together?
I just sync it in post production.
Okay.
In Adobe Premiere Pro, I can sync the audio to video.
All right, Spanky. We'll catch you later.
yeah, we got it.
Getting late.
Yeah,
Yep,
we gotta take
yep.
off.
All right. Well.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you later.
Everybody have a good night, and don't forget, next Tuesday we're going to start on Bob's channel.
Well,
We'll rotate out every
yeah, I
other
get
week.
the what do you call it? You put up the
Notification.
notification thing. Yeah. All right. We'll catch you later.
All right,
Later.
y'all have a good one.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.